Overthinking is a common experience. It happens when our thoughts become repetitive and unproductive. We might replay past events in our minds. We might worry endlessly about the future. This can trap us in a cycle of negative thinking. Overthinking can make us feel stuck. It can be hard to make decisions when we overthink. Sometimes we overthink because we want to feel in control. Overthinking is not always a bad thing. It can be helpful to reflect on our experiences. However, excessive overthinking can be harmful to our mental health. Overthinking takes a toll on our mental well-being. It can lead to increased stress and anxiety. When we overthink, our minds are constantly racing. This can make it difficult to relax and enjoy the present moment. Overthinking can also disrupt our sleep. We might lie awake at night worrying about things we cannot control. This can leave us feeling exhausted and drained during the day. The constant negative thoughts can impact our self-esteem. We might start to doubt ourselves and our abilities. This can create a negative self-image. Overthinking and anxiety often go hand in hand. When we are anxious, we tend to overthink. We might worry about things that are unlikely to happen. This overthinking in turn fuels our anxiety. It is a vicious cycle that can be difficult to break. Anxiety can make it hard to focus and concentrate. This can lead to mistakes and setbacks, which can further increase our anxiety. Overthinking can also lead to avoidance behaviors. We might avoid situations that trigger our anxiety. While this might provide temporary relief, it can make our anxiety worse in the long run. Rumination is a specific type of overthinking. It involves dwelling on negative thoughts and experiences from the past. We might replay past conversations in our minds, focusing on our mistakes. Rumination can keep us stuck in the past. It prevents us from moving on and learning from our experiences. It is like constantly picking at a wound, preventing it from healing. Rumination can also lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and regret. We might judge ourselves harshly for our past actions. Section 5. Why do we overthink? The science behind it. There are several reasons why we overthink. One reason is our evolutionary history. In the past, our ancestors needed to be constantly alert to danger. This led to the development of a brain that is wired to focus on potential threats. While this was helpful for survival, it can lead to overthinking in modern times. Our brains are still wired to scan for threats, even when there are none. Another reason we overthink is our need for certainty. We want to feel in control of our lives. When we face uncertainty, our minds try to fill in the blanks. Section 6. Your brain on overthinking. When we overthink, certain areas of our brains become more active. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and decision-making, goes into overdrive. This can lead to mental fatigue and exhaustion. The amygdala, which processes emotions, also becomes more active. This explains why overthinking often leads to increased anxiety and stress. Overthinking can also disrupt the balance of neurochemicals in our brains. For example, it can lead to an increase in the stress hormone cortisol. Section 7. Breaking free from the overthinking trap. The good news is that we can learn to manage and reduce overthinking. One effective technique is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. We can practice mindfulness through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply by focusing on our senses. Another helpful technique is cognitive reframing. This involves challenging our negative thoughts and replacing them with more balanced ones. For example, instead of thinking I'm going to fail, we can reframe it as I'm going to do my best and learn from the experience. Section 8. Finding peace in the present moment. Overthinking often involves dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By bringing our attention to the present moment, we can break free from this cycle of negative thinking. Engage in activities that ground you in the here and now. Spend time in nature, listen to music, or engage in a hobby you enjoy. Focus on your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch? When your mind wanders to worries or regrets, gently guide it back to the present. Section 9. Embracing imperfection. Overthinking often stems from a desire for perfection. We might strive to control every aspect of our lives. However, life is inherently uncertain and we cannot control everything. Learn to accept that mistakes are a natural part of life. Instead of striving for perfection, aim for growth and learning. Embrace the unknown and accept that you cannot control everything. Remember that you are human, and imperfections are what make you unique.